let's see if Trump is live with Nut and Butter. Let's see. Yeah, here you go.
Attack on the very existence of a Jewish state in the Jewish homeland. The Israelis have...
Hold on. This is his...
That's a lot of press. Congratulations. You bring them out. You really bring them out. Today, I'm delighted to welcome...
Or one of the longest running wars in the Middle East tends to draw a lot of attention.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu back to the White House.
Sorry. How do you pronounce that?
Delighted to welcome Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu back to the White House. It's a
Netanyahu?
wonderful feeling and a wonderful event. We had fantastic talks.
Fantastic.
And thank you very much with your staff. He's the first foreign head of state to visit during our administration. And Bibi, I want to say it's an honor to have you with us. Over the past 4 years, the U.S. and the Israeli alliance has been tested more than any time in history. But the bonds of friendship and affection between the American and Israeli relationship, we had great and imposed the toughest.
Again, the red statement, I don't care. Watching this dickhead try to read
What a good job, the special envoy, Steve Witkoff, who's here somewhere. Steve?
He's here somewhere. Steve Witkoff is here somewhere.
Stand up, Steve, please. What
Stand
a job.
up, Steve.
Witkoff, who's here somewhere. Steve?
He's here somewhere.
Steve? Stand up, Steve, please. What a job you've done. What a good job you've done. Proud of you. Done a fantastic job.
Who's a good puppy?
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Thank you, Mike, for working so well with us. Thank you. We have, in addition, Marco Rubio, who is on the phone right now, listening to every single word that we say, and he's going to be great. And Pete, congratulations. And Scott, congratulations. I see you're here. And
great, so your eyes work.
Caroline's been doing a great job. She's really probably talked about more than anybody here. She's done a fantastic job, and thank you very much, Caroline. We're proud of you. But we'll only be satisfied when all of these problems are solved, and we have the team.
All right, so can't get no satisfaction is what you're saying.
Team to solve them, and that's going to happen. And it's going to happen, I think, very quickly.
Oof. I got to tell you, when it comes to something as intransigent as the conflict between Israel and Palestine and the Palestinians and the existence of Israel and the Middle East and stuff, the idea of solving the problem quickly is only realistic if you don't give a shit about who dies.
I also strongly believe that the Gaza Strip, which has been a symbol of death and destruction for so many decades and so bad for the people anywhere near it, and especially those who live there, and frankly, who's been really very unlucky. It's been very unlucky. It's been an unlucky place for a long time.
Oh, yeah? Is it cursed ground? That's what it is? Somebody kick a witch down the stairs or something?
Being in its presence just has not been good. And it
What? Being in the presence of Gaza has not been good?
should not go through a process of rebuilding and occupation by the same people that have really stood there and fought for it and lived there and died there and lived a miserable existence there. Instead, we should go to...
Jesus Christ. Listen to that word salad about the human beings that are in this circumstance. Listen to that. It should not... let me be abundantly clear. They're talking about ethnic cleansing the entire area. It's just the idea that they're going to break it up into 3 sections and move the Palestinians back in. And blah, blah, no. He had, and this asshole over there, have had this conversation before, like during the summer last year, going, hey, pretend like I'll pretend I have a peaceful solution that can handle it, and that there'll be a 2-state solution and all that kind of stuff, and we'll have a bunch of these assholes vote for me, and then once I'm in, you can do whatever the fuck you want, and as a matter of fact, we'll help you.
every building and occupation by the same people that have really stood there and fought for it and lived there and died there and lived a miserable existence there.
He means the Palestinians. That's who he's talking about.
Instead, we should go to other countries of interest with humanitarian hearts, and there are many of them that want to do this.
No, there are not.
And build various domains that will ultimately be occupied by the 1.8 million Palestinians living in Gaza, ending the death and destruction and, frankly, bad luck. This
Bad luck? The fuck are you? Bad luck. Jesus Christ. Fortune favors the bold, you lazy fucks. Bad luck. Hey, uncommitted. Nice work. Hey, Genocide Joe fucking university protesters. Excellent job. You have literally played a strategic and important part in the ethnic cleansing of Gaza. You were integral to the plan. So much so that I honestly don't think you meant what you were saying. I think you had to be part of the side that wants this bullshit over with, and you don't want a two-state solution anymore. It's never going to work anyways, right? So let's just pretend we're on the right side of it, but really push everything in the direction where we can just let this motherfucker come through and nuke the place.
can be paid for by neighboring countries of great wealth. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What the hell?
It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 12. It could be numerous sites, or it could be one large site.
I thought he was going to say countries. He means they're going to take the people who are in Gaza, and probably the West Bank too, and move them to little enclaves, like little ghettos in a bunch of other cities. Just fucking repatriate them. Like this little group, you guys are moving to Jeddah, and this little group, you guys are moving to fucking Jordan, and this little, that's fuck me.
But the people will be able to live in comfort and peace, and we'll make sure something really spectacular is done. They're going to have peace.
Yeah, they may be living in a refugee camp for the rest of their known lives, but there will be fireworks.
They're not going to be shot at and killed and destroyed like this civilization of wonderful people has had to endure. The only reason the Palestinians want to go back to Gaza is they have no alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site. Virtually every building is down. They're living under...
Yeah, and if you're going to rebuild it, do you want to really build it for the Palestinians? I mean, that's some nice oceanfront property. I mean, that's going to be... Why didn't Israel have that really nice area? I mean, look at that, huh? That's what he's talking about.
Fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious.
How'd that happen?
They instead can occupy all of a beautiful area with homes and safety, and they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again.
Sorry, do it again? Do what again? Be bombed again into oblivion? Is that the idea? What?
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job.
What? Hold on. We're what?
Do it again. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it.
Whoa! We'll own it. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we now own the Gaza Strip, apparently.
Take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site, and...
What? Whoa. Wait. First of all, why are we responsible for it? Why do we own it? What the fuck are you talking about? Who's doing this? So what, we're going to send U.S. troops into Gaza and what, move everybody out? And then what, pre-explode leftover bombs?
Get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
people of the area be? Who the area? What area? What's the area? Like I'm just saying, let's spitballing. Palestinians out. People, who else are you talking about? What, people of the area. The people of the area. Congratulations. We thought, you motherfuckers thought Canada was going to be the 51st state. Welcome to, like, the 2 senators from Gaza.
Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. I'm hopeful that this ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the blood.
You mean a big real estate scam? Jesus Christ.
Bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And we've really done that. We're a respected nation again. A lot's happened in the last couple of weeks. We are actually a very respected nation.
Yeah, and you know what? Saying it over and over again just makes it truer and doesn't sound desperate and lame at all.
Again, I ended the last administration's de facto arms embargo on over $1 billion in military assistance for Israel.
Nice job, uncommitted. Great job, guys. Great job. Yep. You did a bang-up job. All you guys in front of the DNC who are with your little Genocide Joe signs, nice job. No, I never saw you in front of, I would have mentioned your trip to Mar-a-Lago when Netanyahu met with him, but you never showed up there, did you? You only showed up in front of Democrats, and congratulations. That's what you, and I'm starting to believe that this wasn't an accident. Yeah? I mean, I said it at the time, and people yelled at me, and now, where are you? Where are you? Huh? Where are you, you big, like the Democrats are worse than Trump crowd? Gaza is over. And not only that, this motherfucker's going to make a killing building the buildings there. There's going to be a Trump Tower Gaza.
And I'm also pleased to announce that this afternoon, the United States withdrew from the anti-Semitic UN Human Rights Council and ended all of the support for the UN Relief and Works Agency, which funneled money to Hamas and which was very disloyal to humanity. Today, I also took action to restore a maximum pressure policy on the Iranian regime, and we will once again enforce the most aggressive possible.
Oh, by the way, I don't know what the fuck that whole thing with him. He was signing stuff today. Let's see. Trump executive order. Iran. Whatever. Okay. So he was saying today, maximum. Where's the text of this fucking thing? Why is it hard to find? Trump says aims to drive. Hold on. Netanyahu signed a memo. They don't want them to have a nuke. Dramatically signed. Blah blah blah. Fuck. I really do need to like download these as soon as they come up. Hold on. Let's see. Text. I'll just do that. Executive order and PDF. There it goes. Yeah. This was today. Nope, that's the old one. Hold on. 1976. Where the fuck is it? Shouldn't it be up already? I'm trying to find the anyways, this is the Trump reveals he's left direct orders that will trigger if Iran assassinates him. So Trump says he's put a dead man switch on his presidency, that if the Iranians, if he dies, Iran gets bombed. Let's see. I left instructions that if they do, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left. And they shouldn't be able to do it. And Biden should have said that, but he never did. I don't know why. Lack of intelligence, perhaps, but he never said it, which is weird. Trump said the new order seeks to impose... Okay, this is the order? Around the end of 3 days... Okay, this is Western Journal. Okay, that's the older one. Where is this? It said the new order seeks to impose maximum pressure on... According to USA Today. Revives... okay, get out of here. Continue to say. Donald Trump revives tough approach to Iran, warns against nuclear weapon. He said earlier today that he was... I don't want to sign this thing, but I'm gonna.
Sanctions drive Iranian oil exports to zero and diminish the regime's capacity to fund terror throughout the region and throughout the world. We had no threat when I left office. Iran was not able to
raise money from oil sales. Yes, they were. You let them sell to South Korea. That's why there was $6 billion in an account there that was going to be returned to them once they returned our hostages, and they never got it.
sell oil.
We got our hostages. They never got the money.
Nobody was buying oil because I said, don't buy it. If you buy it, you're not doing any business with the United States. And Hamas was not being funded. Hezbollah was not being funded. Nobody was being funded.
Yeah, they were. I mean, he got caught letting them. People found out about the waiver and he stopped it.
Never have been on October 7th. 2 weeks ago, I went.
Why? October 7th cost about $75.
Once again designated the Houthis as a terrorist organization. They're trying to destroy world shipping lanes, and that's not going to happen. And over the weekend, I ordered airstrikes against senior ISIS leaders hiding in the caves of Somalia and took them out.
You know what? You're right. The world was so peaceful last time, and he wants to be all about peace, which is why he's bombing caves in Somalia seemingly at random.
Here in America, we've begun the process of deporting foreign terrorists, jihadists, and Hamas sympathizers from our soil, just as we have people that are extremely evil, and we're
that are waiting confirmation into your cabinet?
Sending them out of our country. They came from jails. They came...
Oh, God. They came from insane asylums?
Came from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they were dumped into our country. They're gang...
Not only they're terrorists, brilliant terrorists, but they're cuckoo.
Members, we're getting them out at numbers that nobody can actually believe. And
you're right, I don't believe the numbers.
Every single...
I think the numbers are bullshit.
Country is taking those people back. They said they would never take them back, and they're all taking them back, and they're...
No, they aren't, or we wouldn't have to move a bunch of them to Gitmo.
Taking them back very gladly. And I recently signed an executive order combating the vile wave of anti-Semitism that we've seen in the aftermath of the October 7th attacks.
Oh, you mean the people that the guy next to you paid to act like they hated Israel and start this shit up to help you get reelected and help him let you turn it into Trumpo land?
Together, America and Israel will renew the optimism that shined so brightly just 4 years ago. It was really a bright...
I agree. In the first year of the Biden administration, before everybody got on his fucking case.
Beautiful light. We will restore calm and stability to the region and expand prosperity, opportunity, and hope to our nations and for all people of the Middle East, including the Arab and Muslim nations. Very important. We want the Arab and Muslim nations to have peace and have tranquility and have great lives.
He was trying. He had one. Peace and tranquility and what's that word that means peace and tranquility together? Great lives. They just have awesome.
I'd like to now invite Prime Minister Netanyahu to say a
Netanyahu. He can't get the guy Netanyahu.
Few words, and we'll take some questions afterwards. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for letting me do the worst possible shit I could possibly do to these people. Thank you for inviting me to Mar-a-Lago, where we had a lovely, uninterrupted meal together while the protesters were at the DNC.
Very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm honored that you invited me to be the first foreign leader to visit the White House in your second term.
But I think it's a little weird that you only did it because
evangelicals told you this is the quickest way to bring Jesus back and get my skunk ass hung up. So, I mean, I understand it, but they could have not brought it up at the meeting.
This is a testament to your friendship and support for the Jewish state and the Jewish people.
And no one else.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. You are the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House.
And don't get me wrong, every time I have a new crowd, I go, this crowd is the greatest crowd that we've ever had at this particular venue. Washington, D.C. audiences are the greatest audiences in the world. Am I fucking right?
And that's why the people of Israel have such enormous respect for you. In your first term, you recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. You moved the American embassy there. You recognized Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights.
And that directly triggered the plan that would become October 7th.
You withdrew from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. I remember we spoke about it.
Gee, you weren't for it? That's odd.
You said,
If the Iranians start to play nice with everyone and don't have a nuclear weapon, what reason will we ever have to bomb them in the future?
this is the worst deal I've ever seen. I'm elected. I'm walking out of it. That's exactly what you did. And I think it speaks loudly for
For the fact that you didn't read it.
just common sense, just looking at things and seeing them as they are. And
Yes, that the Iranians should never be given any kind of a chance to get on their feet, and they need to be wiped out, and but not help the Iranian people get out from under the fucking leadership.
of course, you also brokered the groundbreaking Abraham Accords in which
Yes, the greatest peace deal between countries that weren't at war in history.
Israel made peace with 4 Arab states. We did
That weren't at war with them.
this in 4 months. Nothing.
It was an economic trade deal. It was a bilateral trade deal. It wasn't a peace deal. They just opened up commercial flights and economics.
Happened for a quarter of a century, but in 4 months, we were able, working together under your leadership, to have 4 historic peace accords. And now in the first days,
You've created a peace deal between countries that weren't at war, and you've made Canada and Mexico an enemy. Nice job, dickhead.
of your second term, you picked up right where you left off. Your leadership helped bring our hostages home, among them American citizens. You freed up munitions that have been withheld
Does Netanyahu have a fever blister? Is that a stress blister?
from Israel.
Is it just
They
me?
had been withheld from Israel
Right
in the
here.
midst of a 7-front war for our existence. And you just freed it. You ended unjust sanctions against law-abiding Israeli citizens.
The settlers.
You boldly confronted the scourge of anti-Semitism.
That I financed last year.
You stopped funding, as you just said, international organizations like UNRWA that support and fund terrorists. And today, you renewed the maximum pressure campaign against Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, all this in just 2 weeks. Can we imagine where we'll be in 4 years?
Well, you know, when he came in the last time, within a couple of weeks, he got rid of the pandemic response team, and in 4 years, what happened in 4 years after that? Anybody remember? Something big happened.
I can. I know you can, Mr. President. For our part,
Whoa, wait. Real quick.
2 weeks. Can we imagine where we'll be in 4 years?
Can we imagine where we'll be in 4 years? Listen to this.
I can. I know you can, Mr. President.
Oh, bet you do, motherfucker. No West Bank, no Gaza Strip, like the temple rebuilt, Israel taking half of the what was the land taken by Hezbollah of Lebanon, satellite weapon systems in Syria to hit any of these countries from behind if they fuck with you. That's what you're talking about. That's what he's imagining.
For our part, we in Israel have been pretty busy too. Since the horrendous October 7th attack, we've been fighting our common enemies and changing the face of the Middle East. On that infamous day, Hamas monsters savagely murdered 1,200 innocent people, including more than 40 Americans. They beheaded men, they raped women, they burnt babies alive, and they took 251 people hostage to the dungeons of Gaza. And after this worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust, Iran and its henchmen in the Middle East were absolutely ecstatic. Hania praised the massacre.
All right, whatever. I don't even hear shit. I don't know if they take questions. That would be the key point. Yeah, here you go.
JD, please, Vice President, stand up. He's been doing a good job. He's been working very hard
On staying out of the way.
all things, but this in particular. We'll take some questions, please. Yes, ma'am, go ahead, please. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President, what the fuck do you mean the United States owns Gaza now? There is no other question. There is no other question. What the fuck are you talking about?
A normalization deal with Saudi Arabia be
Oh, shut up.
achieved without the acknowledgement of a Palestinian state? That question for you too, Mr. Prime Minister. And Mr. President, given what you've said about Gaza, should the U.S. send troops to help secure the security vacuum?
So Saudi Arabia is going to be very helpful, and they have been very helpful. They want peace in the Middle East. It's very simple. We know their leader and their leaders very well. They're wonderful people, and they want peace in the Middle East.
Do they?
As far as Gaza is concerned, we'll do what is necessary. If it's necessary, we'll do that. We're going to...
Yep, American troops in Gaza brooming the fucking place out. What? Okay. All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The wild card for spring. This is what's happening, because they're not going to delay this. They're not going to let people gather and start rebuilding it. The whole point is to move them out in the first fucking place. No new wars, but we're going to send troops into the Gaza territories, and if anybody's still there fighting back against us and they kill a U.S. Service person, that's Biden's fault, I guess.
Take over that piece, and we're going to develop it, create thousands and thousands of jobs, and it'll be something that the entire Middle East can be very proud of. But everybody feels that continuing the same process that's gone on forever, over and over again, and then it starts, and then the killing starts, and...
Fucking, I hate that this is a fucking, I told you so. Right? This motherfucker. And to all the people who dared think that there was a lesser of two evils argument between this motherfucker and Biden or Harris, like Harris wouldn't even, like, she had to meet with Netanyahu. She didn't do a press conference with him. She spoke afterwards, and everything she said was right on the fucking money. And what happened? These motherfuckers were, we're going to stay home. Genocide Joe. And boom. Ethnic cleansing. Right out in the open. Just done. And again, I was saying this all last year. And like, the same assholes were going, mm-mm.
all of the other problems start, and you end up in the same place, and we don't want to see that happen. So by the...
Right. So Gaza's over. That's what they're announcing. That's the news here. It's done. Everybody there is getting broomed out. Ethnic cleansing, straight up. There's going to be like demolition contracts and all that shit. They're going to go over there. and bulldoze the fucking place. And Jimmy Dore and Hassan Abi and everybody in the Young Turks were just going like it's a fucking coin flip. Just the fact that he lifted the embargo that half these assholes didn't know even existed.
The United States, with its stability and strength, owning it, especially the strength that we're developing and developing.
Owning it. Fucking, I mean, now, granted, half the time this motherfucker doesn't know what he's talking about. But owning it? Owning it. This is like the third time he said owning it. We own it. We own it. What the, why? Who, all right, you want to go with the whole like, who voted for what? Who the fuck voted for the United States to occupy the Gaza area and broom everybody out? Are you, all right. Thank you so much, Sugar for Tea. I was saying it. Maybe if I had more than 80,000 subscribers, word would have gotten out. But one of the reasons why I don't have, as many subscribers is because I don't tell people what they want to hear. I tell them what's actually happening. Like they wanted to hear it from somebody else. They wanted smoke blown up their ass, or they wanted the outrage machine to speak the fucking passwords that enter into their tiny little fucking cranium.
Over the last fairly short period of time, I would say really since the election, I think we'll be a keeper of something that is very, very strong, very powerful.
Own it. The keeper. What? Honestly, that's the only fucking question about this. Like, how is the United States now? What is it? Like the U.S. Gaza Strip now, like the Virgin Islands?
Powerful and very, very good for the area, not just for Israel, for the entire Middle East. Very important. And we'll, again, have thousands of jobs, and there'll be jobs for everyone, not for a specific group of people, but for everybody. Okay.
So we're going to send Americans over to do it, is what you're saying. Government contracts, Americans doing this. That's what he's talking about.
Okay, please.
I think peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia is not only feasible, I think it's going to happen. I think if we had another half a year in your first term, it would have already happened.
True. Many, many more, I agree, many more nations.
I think you can't prejudge and pre-guess how we'll achieve it, but I'm committed to achieving it. And I know the president is committed to achieving it, and I think the Saudi leadership.
Oh, for fucking, of course the Saudis are for it. They're cash poor and they're running out of oil. They're transitioning their economy away from oil. So they've got to start trading with their partners. They've got to start, they're a transit point for every Muslim that wants to fly home. And if they want to go by the Temple on the Mount because allegedly Muhammad appeared there magically for about 3 days or whatever the hell, they're going to go there too. It's religious tourism.
Is interested to achieve it. So we'll give it a good shot, and I think we'll succeed.
Yeah.
Because it's financial now. Because they're like the hardliners are all dead in the Saudi royal family. These are all business guys. They're all trained in fucking Cambridge and Harvard.
Please go ahead.
First of all, President Trump, did you hear from Prime Minister Netanyahu at your meeting guarantees that ceasefire will hold, including phase?
Do you have any guarantees the ceasefire will hold? Is basically what I'm hearing.
And Prime Minister Netanyahu, question to you: why are you refusing to set up a national commission to investigate failures of the process?
Well, I can't tell you whether or not the ceasefire will hold. We've done, I think, a very masterful job. And we weren't helped very much by the Biden administration, I can tell you that. But we've gotten quite a few hostages out. We're going to get more out. But we're...
Yeah, and as soon as they're out, everybody's out. That's what this is. Even announcing we own it and they shouldn't be there and they got to go and the U.S. will be responsible for it. And it's basically just where the fuck are you delivering if you're releasing Palestinians in exchange for hostages and you're dropping those people off in Gaza, right? Then what? Once you get, basically you're just telling Hamas or whoever's left there, give us all our people back. And the second we get the last one you have, everybody out. We're just going to broom you motherfuckers. So what's the point of even negotiating for the release of the other people? They're just going to be broomed as well. And if they don't go, because those were you're basically allowing them to be released into the area so that, because Netanyahu can't kill them in prison, because that's the fucking rule, right? You can't just murder them in fucking prison. But if you release them and you're walking back in there like, hey, we're just pushing everybody out. You guys got to go stay someplace else. We got trucks that'll take you to someplace in Egypt for a little while, and then we're building a nice place for you. Get the fuck out of here. And then they throw a rock, you can kill them. That's what this is. Just release the fucking people that are in jail because you can't kill them in jail to that place, and then you can kill them once they're there. Again, uncommitted. Great fucking job.
Dealing with very complex people. And we are going to see whether or not it holds. We certainly want to have more come out.
Complex people?
They've come out damaged in many ways, very damaged people. But
the hostages? You think?
They're going to get better, and they're going to be strong, and they're going to have a good life. And we hope to get as many as possible out. Whether or not it holds, I don't know. We hope it holds. We hope it holds.
I think that the appropriate time, which I think will enable us to really investigate what happens, what were the causes of the failures, by an independent commission that will be accepted by the majority of the people. We don't want it accepted by one half of the people and not the other. I think we should have it, and we should find out exactly what happened. I'm insisting on it. And believe me, it'll surprise a lot of people when it happens.
Kelly, go ahead, please.
Mr. President, you are outlining something that is really quite striking tonight. You are talking about... Okay. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister. You are talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there, redevelopment? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you see this idea as a way to expand the boundaries of Israel and to have a long...
Yeah, finally. Yes, that's the question. That's the only question that needs to be asked. The fuck are you talking about?
...peace, even though the Israeli people know how important that land is to you and your citizens, just as the space is inherited by the Palestinians as well.
I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East, and maybe...
Fuck me. Good Lord. Ownership position. This motherfucker thinks he's buying real estate.
...be the entire Middle East. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United...
No, they don't. Then you're only talking to fucking crazy people.
States owning that piece of land developed.
No! What the fuck? What? This is just bonkers.
And creating thousands of jobs with something.
You know, I was thinking about Greenland, but, you know, I thought better property because it's not as cold, Gaza.
That will be magnificent in a really magnificent area that nobody would know. Nobody can look because all they see is death and destruction and rubble and
oh, just you wait till it's full of Americans.
Demolished buildings falling all over. It's just a terrible sight. I've studied it. I've studied this very closely over a lot of months, and I've seen it from every different angle. And it's a very, very dangerous place to be. And it's only going to get worse. And I think this is an idea.
Okay, by the way, why would it only get worse?
That's gotten
I don't even know why this is so fucking nuts that even the details are useless to discuss.
Tremendous, and I'm talking about from the highest level of leadership, gotten tremendous praise. And if the United States...
For what highest level of leadership? Who are you talking to? What do you mean? Here? Hold on. What?
And I think this is an idea that's gotten tremendous, and I'm talking about from the highest level of leadership, gotten tremendous praise. And if the United States can help to bring stability and peace in the Middle East, we'll do that. Baby?
Baby.
I mentioned again tonight our 3 goals, and the third goal is to make sure that Gaza never poses a threat to Israel again.
Yes, because it will no longer be Gaza. That's the way to do it.
President Trump is taking it to a much higher level.
You think? Yeah. It's apparently annexing territory.
He sees
Also, by the way, how can this be seen as anything other than starting a war? Right? How, if this is now U.S. territory, how the ever-loving fuck is this anything but starting a war? Or provoking one into existence? What the hell?
he sees a different future.
Yeah. One, I guess, with no human life on Earth?
For that piece of land that has been the focus of so much terrorism, so many attacks against us, so many trials, and so many tribulations.
Yeah, and nothing will end that faster than the U.S. being responsible for it and basically putting a giant America first bullseye right in the center of it.
He has a different idea, and I think it's worth paying attention to this. We're talking about it. He's exploring it with his people, with his staff.
Exploring it? Exploring it? Motherfucker, he just announced it. He's not exploring. This is not like a bull session to try and figure out what we're going to do. This motherfucker just said 3 times we own it. His mind is made up, you dumb motherfucker.
I think it's something that could change history, and it's worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's his goal. Bring back the fucking rapture.
Really pursuing this avenue.
Bring it back. Bring back Jesus. Trigger the rapture.
Yeah, please, go ahead. Go ahead.
President, question for you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So before rebuilding Gaza again, obviously we take all the hostages, and one of them is an American soldier who is alive. How will you be sure that you will take out all the hostages and then rebuild?
We're working very hard to get all the hostages. The word is all, and we are working very hard. So far,
We like the word all, not some. Some sounds weak and soft. All.
it's been moving along fairly rapidly, pretty much on schedule. I'd love to have them all out at one time, but we're taking them out, and tomorrow more are being released, and over the days more, and then
apparently, when we get them all, then we're sending in troops to run out everyone who's there.
we'll go into a phase 2.
What? Yes, phase 2, ethnic cleansing.
But would like to get...
Seriously, these uncommitted motherfuckers, you guys can never live this down. Like, I hate the I told you so shit, but fuck you. You played an active role. Same thing with these assholes on college campuses. You played an active role. And none of them showed up at Mar-a-Lago when this asshole was meeting with Netanyahu, planning this shit out. Fuck those guys. And I like any of them who even go, well, I really thought, shut the fuck up. You should be ashamed of yourself every goddamn day. It's gross. My God.
all of the hostages, and if we don't, it will just make us somewhat more violent. I will tell you that.
What? Hold on. I don't know what the fuck. If they kill a U.S. soldier, it'll make us somewhat more violent.
But we'd like to get all of the hostages. And if we don't, it will just make us somewhat more violent. I will tell you that, because they would have broken their word. Mr. Witkoff and his entire group have been
somewhat more violent. Sorry, are we currently being violent?
Working 24 hours around the clock, and they want them out, and promises have been made to them, and we'll see whether or not those promises will be kept. But we want all the hostages, that's right.
How much time do you think it will take? A month?
Do you support, Mr. President, do you support Israeli sovereignty in Judea and Samaria, areas which many believe is the biblical homeland of the Jewish people?
Well, we're discussing that with many of your representatives. You're represented very well, and people do.
You're not supposed to point out the fact that guy's in the tank for Netanyahu and he flew there with him and you've been talking to him all afternoon, dum-dum, and that he's just throwing that question to you as a fucking bone for... It's good to go.
We like the idea, but we haven't taken a position on it yet, but we will be we'll be making an announcement probably on that very specific topic.
That's a yes.
Over the next 4 weeks.
That means no on the West Bank, too. That's what they're talking about. The West Bank used to be Transjordan. They're going to split it between Jordan and Israel, and the area where the Temple Mount is going to be Israel. That's what they're going to do. Period.
Go ahead, please. Please.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. So you just said that you think all the Palestinians should be relocated to other countries. Does that mean that you do not support a two-state solution?
It doesn't mean anything about a two-state or one state or any other state. It means that we want to give people a chance at life. They have never had a chance at life because the Gaza Strip has been a hellhole for people living there. It's been horrible. Hamas has made it so bad, so dangerous, so unfair to people. And by doing what I'm recommending that we do, it's a very strong recommendation, but it
very powerful as recommendations go.
It is a strong recommendation. By doing,
if you're recommending something.
That, we think we're going to bring perhaps great peace to long beyond this area. And I have to stress, this is not for Israel. This is for everybody in the Middle East, Arabs, Muslims. This is for everybody. This would be where they can partake in terms of jobs and living and all of the other benefits. And I think it's very important.
Okay, so what he means is Israel is an open democracy, and Arabs can vote and all that kind of stuff. They can be a part of it. So it's a democracy in the Middle East. And what he's saying is essentially that it's going to be part of Israel. They're going to hold it. We're going to hold it and guarantee the security of it, but it will be part of Israel. He's going to declare it part of Israel. We're going to broom everybody out. That will be our military exercise with them, and then he's going to declare it a part of Israel. Yeah, I'm telling you.
It just doesn't work the other way. You can't keep trying. They just has been going along for so many decades, you can't even count. You just can't keep doing. You have to learn from history. You can't keep doing the same mistake over and over again. Gaza is a hellhole right now. It was before the bombing started, frankly. And we're going to give people a chance to live in a beautiful community that's safe and secure.
He's going to build fucking suburbs in 7 different cities and have them move there. Okay. When I went to Dubai, and I'm not going back, because I told a joke that almost landed me in jail, and it was really innocuous, and I was like, kind of fuck this. I don't need work that bad. I can make my own. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show if you would, so that I can feed myself and my progeny and have health insurance without ever having to take another trip to fucking Dubai. But when we were there, one of the things that they did was they had like contract workers from India and all over the Arab world as well coming into Dubai to do work, and they would seize their passports and they would just work and build shit, and they had to finish the job before they could leave the country, right? So it wasn't the joke, it was the fact that I referred to Sheikh Khalifa as Monsieur Khalifa. That was enough to get me thrown in jail for 3 days, maybe 7 days, and fined. That was the thing. Luckily, I was saved by an even more powerful sheikh. But that said, I'm not rolling those fucking dice again. Let's see. Yeah, so hold on, let me take it. So, you want to know where I think the beautiful communities they're going to move the fucking Palestinians to? That's where. The Palestinian people's punishment for making the Arab business leaders' lives difficult for a long time are going to be moved to areas like this where they will be in work camps. The first thing they will do is build the buildings they're going to live in, and then after they build the buildings they live in, which will basically be tenements compared to everything else, they will build everything else around them or work around there. That's what's going to happen. And I got news to you, news for you. If it wasn't for the existence of Israel as it stands right now, that would have happened a long time ago. That's why they don't give a shit. Trump and his people.
And I think you're going to see a tremendous outflowing of support. I can tell you, I spoke to other leaders of countries in the Middle East, and they love the idea. They say it would
yeah, they could be great workers if they can't leave.
Really bring stability, and what we need is stability. Yes, sir, please. Go ahead.
Thank you. Are you still committed to imposing sanctions on the ICC despite the move being stalled in the Senate? And please, a question for the Prime Minister as well. The President has been very clear about his desire to achieve a deal with Saudi Arabia. How do you settle this if Israel is required to renew the war against Hamas in the future?
Go ahead, baby.
Go ahead, baby.
I think everybody understands that just as the President fought and defeated Al-Qaeda and ISIS, that we can't leave Hamas there because Hamas will continue the battle to destroy Israel. They'll do, you know, when in this temporary ceasefire, one of their leaders comes out, you know what he says? We're going to do October 7th again, except we'll do it bigger. So obviously...
Look at, you see how Trump moved on that? That's the decision-making point. Bibi told him that actually did happen. So he relays that to him, and instead of going, it's bluster, we'll kill that guy too, and everybody should be able to blah, blah, blah. Or we'll make sure that guy gets locked up, and you can, the rock throwers, you release those, but the people controlling things, that's what you put into jail, and you just leave that alone, and we'll help you out with that. Instead of doing that, which is complicated and takes work and thought and all that stuff, Trump just heard that piece of news and went, yeah, well, this will help me be macho. It's fucking wag the dog, kids.
You can't talk about peace neither with Hamas or in the Middle East if this, toxic, murderous organization is left standing. Any more than you could make peace in Europe after World War II if the Nazi regime was left standing and the Nazi army was left standing. You want a different future? You got to knock out the people who want to destroy you and destroy peace. That's what we're going to do. I think that will also usher in, actually, the peace with Saudi Arabia and with others, and I think there will be others too.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Mr. President, I'm from Afghanistan. My name is Nazira Karimi. Afghan suffered women as a high expectation from you. Do you have any plan to change Afghanistan situation? Are you able to recognize Taliban? Because I'm an Afghan journalist, Afghan suffered women. Any comment about Afghanistan? What's your future plan for Afghan people, especially Afghanistan?
I have a little hard time understanding.
She says, you recognize the Taliban. What's your plan, if any, for Afghanistan? She's a woman from Afghanistan, and the way the Taliban treat women, it sucks. So do you have any plans? He doesn't give a shit.
You? Where are you from? Oh.
From Afghanistan. That's what she fucking said. The one word she said over and over again was Afghanistan, dummy.
Actually, it's a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand a word you're saying. But I just say this. Good luck. Live in peace. Go ahead.
All I can say is good luck, live in peace. You're on your own, lady.
Please.
What he means is stay here. You're an attractive woman. Don't go back. I'm dead serious. That's what he means.
That's okay. Yeah, please.
And Prime Minister, you said earlier today that it was tough for you to implement these sanctions on Iran, but you did indicate that you were willing to negotiate with them. What would that look like, and are you in conversations with them? And the same for the Prime Minister, sir.
I hated doing it. I want Iran to be peaceful and successful. I hated doing it. I did it once before, and we brought them down to a level where they were unable to give any money. They had to survive themselves, and they had no money. They were essentially broke, and they had no money.
Also, I don't know who fucking told him this. It's not anywhere close to true. Otherwise, they were able to build. Never mind. Like they had one of the reasons Russia bought Shahed drones from Israel is they had plenty of money to make those things. They have a military. They got an air force. They got money.
For, as I said, Hezbollah, they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for any form of terror. The 28, if you call it, the 28 sites of terror, they had no money for any of it. They had to do their own and focus on their own well-being. And I hated to do it then, and I hate to do it just as much now. And I say this to Iran, who's listening very intently. I would love to be able to make a great deal, a deal where you can get on with your lives and you'll do wonderfully. You'll do wonderfully. Incredible people, industrious, beautiful, just an unbelievable group of people.
Yeah, he means the Persians. He means the actual local Iranians, not the Arabs that took over. And let's see. Hold on. Once minute. I'm going to show you something real quick. Iran and Aryan have the same root name. That's like Hitler thought of them as the first people out of Africa in the area, as they'd evolved past our baser instincts and not Neanderthal or any of that shit. And so there is let's see if I can, yeah. Aryan is the name that ancient people speaking Indo-Iranian languages gave to themselves. The descendants of the Aryans included speakers of Sanskrit and Avestan, which are related to the Indo-European languages. Ancient Persians and Vedic peoples used the name Aryan to mean nobles. The name Iran itself means land of the Aryans. He's not talking about the Muslims who took it over. He's not talking about the Muslims who expanded into it and took it away. He's talking about the Iranians by birthright. That's what he wants. Like, they're trying to find a way to topple the regime and basically hand Iran back to those people. Just letting you know. It should be a nonpartisan issue, but for fuck's sake, that's why he gives a fuck versus someplace else, and why he's like, I hate to do it. All right. Why is it? He didn't say that about any place else.
Iran, and I know them well, have many friends from Iran and many friends that are Americans from Iran, and they're very proud of Iran. But I hated to
He means people who largely call themselves Persians.
do it, just so you understand. And I hope we're going to be able to do something so that it doesn't end up in a very catastrophic situation. I don't want to see that happen. I really want to see peace, and I hope that we're able to do that. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. I'm not putting restrictions. They cannot have one thing. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. And if I think that they will have a nuclear weapon, despite what I just said, I think that's going to be very unfortunate for them. if, on the other hand, they can convince us that they won't, and I hope they can. It's very easy to do. It's actually very easy to do.
Yeah, you have to let the IAEA in. They don't want to do that because there's a myriad of other reasons of national security that they'll use why they don't want you in there, because they are afraid of being deposed, because the vast majority of the Iranian people are not fans of the regime and they're worried about a tipping point.
I think they're going to have an unbelievable future. Yeah, please. So,
What does that mean? Yes, you don't believe they will have one at all?
go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. You just laid out your plan for Gaza.
Yes.
Can you lay out your plan for Ukraine and also
For Ukraine.
for Ukraine? Yes. You consider yourself a strong leader. You blamed your predecessor for letting Russia to take over Ukraine. Will you demand from Putin to get out of Ukraine, from sovereign territory of Ukraine?
So we're dealing right now in the subject. I don't want to spend a lot of time because we're here for another reason, but we are having very good talks, very constructive talks on Ukraine.
No, they aren't.
And we're talking to the Russians. We're talking to the Ukrainian leadership. It would have never happened. That would have never happened. It should have never happened. I get reports every week, the number of soldiers, mostly soldiers now. The cities have been largely...
Really? In a war, mostly soldiers are the ones that are getting killed? You sound disappointed it's not more civilian deaths. For real. Like, why does that... It's almost like, usually in war, what you hear about is civilian deaths. I don't hear about any of that. It's just soldiers shooting soldiers, like in a war.
Demolished. You talk about
There's 2 people in the building when the building went down and they died, and it was full of buildings because they're 1,000 years old.
a very sad sight to see. We talk Gaza. Well, many of these cities look as bad as Gaza and worse, what's happened to them. And I want to see that end, and I want to see it end for...
Well, that would make Putin the Hamas of this conflict. So why are you kissing his nuts?
one simple reason: the life of young people being absolutely obliterated on both sides. You probably have 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers dead, 800,000, maybe more Russian soldiers dead. It's
More. It's close to 900,000 right now.
very flat land, and the only thing that's
Oh my God, the whole bullets aren't affected by gravity and they just keep going east until they hit somebody.
going to stop a bullet is a human body. In this case...
Or a tree. Or a rock. Or a tank. Or the arc of the bullet itself as it falls to the earth once its propulsion has kind of met its match in terms of gravity, and then it starts to taper down.
Usually soldiers, and the numbers are staggering. When you hear the real numbers in Ukraine, what the numbers are, and this doesn't include the cities that have been demolished and all of the people that were killed.
Yeah, and who started it?
So I want to see it stopped. We're having very good talks, and I think we're going to get it. I think something will be hopefully dramatically. It will rise above everything. You can't let this continue. This is an absolute slaughter that's taking place on the beautiful farmlands of Ukraine, and we have to stop it. We can't let this continue.
That's interesting. Beautiful farmlands of Ukraine. It sounds like he's recognizing who the loser is, and he's concerned with which side he's been on.
It is a human tragedy, and we're going to try very hard to stop it. Yeah, please, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
By the way, wasn't he supposed to stop it in 24 hours? He knew exactly what he'd say, and he didn't even have to stop it before he would have had it stopped before he even was sworn in 24 hours after the election. That was all bullshit, Joel.
Thank you very much. Okay. Mr. President, what's your view about Palestinian leader Abbas' role in all the regional changes you want to do? And a question for the Prime Minister, what's your view on President Trump wanting to reach a deal with Iran and not a much more active military stance towards him?
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
I think the
I don't really know, honestly. Say something.
President just said something that I think is the pivot of everything that we're talking about. he said Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And we fully agree with that. If this goal can be achieved by a maximum pressure campaign, so be it. But I think the most important thing is to focus on the goal, which the president just did, and I fully agree with him.
Right. But I think the important thing is to focus on the goal, meaning if it can be done through maximum pressure, great. If not, we're going to bomb them. That's what he's talking about. That's what's going to happen. Yes, Penny, we are all living in a chess game. You are absolutely right. And this motherfucker is playing jacks.
Well, I said it, and he said it very well. It's a campaign of pressure to see if we can get something done. He doesn't want to do what some people think will automatically happen because they're very difficult people to deal with, as you know. But if we could solve this problem without warfare, without all of the things that you've been witnessing over the last number of years, it would be, I think it would be a
What? A trade in printer ink like Betsy DeVos was doing, or just the fruit juice wars?
Tremendous thing. Go ahead.
I think it'd be great if we could do what he said. But you,
please.
Do you have any plans to visit Israel soon?
To visit where?
Israel and Gaza.
Oh, I love Israel. I will visit there, and I'll visit Gaza, and I'll visit Saudi Arabia, and I'll visit other places all over the Middle East. The Middle East is an
yeah, I got some business deals to sign.
Incredible place, so vibrant, so it's just one of the really beautiful places, and with great people. And I think a lot of bad leadership has taken place in the Middle East that's allowed this to happen. It's just terrible. And that includes on the American side, by the way. We should have never gone in there a long time ago, spent trillions of dollars and created so much death. So that includes...
What do you mean? With Israel? Or
Americans, but yeah, I'll be visiting...
Does he mean Iraq?
A lot of different places in the Middle East. I've been invited everywhere, but I will be visiting some, yeah. Okay. Let's go. Caitlin, go ahead, Caitlin. Caitlin, go ahead.
On what you were saying there.
Say it, go ahead, please.
Just to follow up on what you were saying.
She's talking, dickhead. Just shut your fucking mouth and listen. Jesus Christ.
About the Gazans leaving Gaza, going to other countries. One, where exactly are you suggesting that they should go? And two, are you saying they should return after it's rebuilt? And if not, who do you envision living there?
I envision world people living there. The world's...
I envision the world's people. This is like if the Farrelly brothers wrote The Omen. Motherfucker. Listen to this shit again.
I envision world people living there. The world's people. I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I think the entire world, representatives from all over the world will be there, and they'll...
Yes, move the UN to Gaza. Brilliant.
And they'll live there. Palestinians also. Palestinians will live there. Many people will live there. But they've tried...
But it won't be a Palestinian state. You can call yourself whatever the fuck you want.
The other, and they've tried it for decades and decades and decades. It's not going to work. It didn't work. It will never work. And you have to...
Okay, at this point, this shit is just gibberish from this point on. Until we see if he's actually taking, action on any of this shit. Right? There is, sorry, I didn't have my my Venmo up the whole time. I apologize, everybody who uses that as their preferred thing. Hold on, I'll put it in there. I'm rebuilding this scene as we go, so forgive me. Forgive me. Let's see, where would it be? In stills and assets, and it would be in this. Where would it be? I think it's in. You have to do a search for it. Just go to here. Let's see. Is there a search? Now I'm looking for stuff. See what you do? You get me say, look at the like an asshole. All right. I will put it up later because I don't have it in this thing right now. I moved everything around because I had to restart my whole setup because it was crashing.
To learn from history. History is, just can't let it keep repeating itself. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal, and I don't want to
And could also be a bloodbath. So, coin flip.
be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be.
Jesus. That's what we said. That's what I said. That's what we were talking about. There it is. That's it. Yeah. This is obviously, with all the other bullshit that's going on, it certainly makes a great distraction from all the other stuff that's still important as well. But this is the biggest piece of news that could possibly come out of this White House. And it's how far he's able to go with it is now the question. Whether people are on board with this idea, specifically Republicans. I don't know how in the fuck are, like which Republicans are going to be supportive of American troops in the formerly Gaza territories? Right? You're right. I fucking said this. I brought it up. I was like, this is what he's gonna do. And everybody looked at me like I was an asshole. And boink, there we go. Ooh, that's too big. Pew. There you go. So if you want to help the show, there it is. Hold on, I've got to do a little housekeeping. So I don't know why we, I'm not surprised. The question now remains, are the Ted Cruzes and the Chip Roys and the rest of those folks going to go along with the idea of U.S. troops in Gaza as part of an ethnic cleansing force? Because that's what this is now. That's the story, kids. And I don't know that they will. So there's not an automatic on this. Some of them, I think a bunch of them are going to go, whoa, wait a second. No, let the Israelis handle it. Or you can bring in, UN peacekeepers who won't be a part of it. So stupid. But you know what I'm talking about? Get some partners in the Middle East, but it ain't going to be us. Right? Which it totally will be. We'll send in contractors. He'll create his own fucking Wagner for this. I need to go to Washington with my gear and ask. Yeah, it's a great idea. I did. I signed up. I know I went over a little bit tonight, but I signed up for my credentials. We'll see if they give them to me. So far, they have not. But infotainmentwars.com is the site where you can find this show on the regular. Share it out. Let people know I'm here. So at least maybe people will start to listen to me. Because I've earned it. God damn it. That said, these goofy motherfuckers have an uphill climb ahead of them. And I gotta say, there is one silver lining to this stuff. And that is that Trump just drew a metaphorical bullseye on himself over this shit. That is not something that other, even maggots, are going to be comfortable with. And we will watch that and see if it plays out. Yeah. So, and hey, let Trump build a tower there and he can fucking retire there for the rest of his maggoty life. Ugh. I don't think Fox will spin it for him. I think they're going to have a hard time dealing with this. This is kind of going to be a shock to them. You could tell Netanyahu going, he went farther than we, blah, blah, blah. This is a serious escalation and he has no attachment. Right? He has no attachment to reality. He has no, anchor in this at all. He's got no way of he doesn't recognize the long-term ramifications. The question is how far other people are willing to go along with them. And this is a lot. This is a big fucking ask. And good night. Oh, I forgot to put on my music first because I have to do that. There we go. Excellent. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, Chris Titus is joining us, and I believe Philip Ittner, if he's available. He's got a very busy schedule these days, a lot going on. But wow. We're not going to have a lot to talk about, obviously.